drones capture the aerial images. Okay. These drones capture the aerial images. Now these images have the information in layers, in bands. Okay. Now, if you see all the data to be extracted from these images, you need some basic information about the image processing. And aerial photographics, if you see the uh, mm, aerial photographics, you see the remotely sensed data, but here we will see the aerial data. Okay. You will be handling the aerial data, though it is remotely sensed, but in the it is by the aerial images, not the satellite images. So here you need the two basic skills, that is capturing the image, again the processing of the image and extraction of the information from the image. Okay. Here there is an opportunity that you can be a service provider here, or you can be a data analyst. Okay. Here you should be having the good knowledge about the computers, about the processing softwares, about the image processing, about the interpretation of images. And here, if you are in agriculture or having the agriculture background, you will be working as a domain expert, as an agriculturist, and also you will be having the additional knowledge to the agriculture field crops. You will be able to identify the patterns, or you will be able to identify the data hidden in the image. Okay. That is how the data and analytics, we can rely on the drones, that is the multispectral intelligence moving beyond just spraying. Entrepreneurs can monetize prescription map. Here, if you if you are uh, if you are upscaling, or if you are upgrading your knowledge, and you are adding data and analytics to your bachelor's or master's degree, you can suggest the prescription map like NDVI, WI. Likewise, you can prepare the prescription map, and based on the prescription map, you will be suggesting the precision in the application, or precision in the action for the field, particular field which you are doing the mapping. Okay. Here you can go for the yield prediction, stress detection, weed identification. If you are having hand in the data and analytics, you can be a service provider to a farmer, where you can, or a farmer producing company, where we call it as an FPO. Here you can provide these services as an expert. Okay. As an expert, you can suggest, you go for the surveying of the field, you get the data extracted, interpreted, and you give the prescription map to the farmer. And according to the prescription map, you have to prescribe the actions and the applications for the precision farming. Okay. And here you are working as an expert who is going to give the paid services to the farmers or to the growers. Here, the commercial growers, like I will share my experience, that in the Maharashtra is famous for so many good agricultural commodities, and one of it is the grapes from Nashik. Okay, there are some farmers in Nashik, those who 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 take the services of these service provided, those who provide them the total prescription map, and accordingly they will be doing their actions, or they will be doing the farm. This is the most relevant example I am giving you, as the grapes are very uh, economical crop and commercial crop. It is high remunerative crop. So farmers do not hesitate or do not because they are going for export also. So in that case, the data and analytics and particularly the multispectral hyperspectral data, if you are able to process, then it is very better that you will get the uh, earning through the service providing. Okay, if you see these drones are applied for the application of various chemicals and various what you call inputs required for the agriculture, and they are preferred because their time efficiency is high, application efficiency is high, they reduce the pesticide wastage, and comparatively less operational cost is there. Why I am saying this operational cost is low? But drone is the most expensive instrument used in the agriculture. But here I am telling you that the 70% of the saving in the operational cost, because if you go for the manual work, you have to pay about 5,000 rupees for a hectare. If you go for the drone technology, it will just 1,500. Why? Because with the help of the drones and their uh, with the help of drones, you can complete 1 hectare of the spraying within 30 to 40 minutes. Okay. So here you do not need, a farmer do not need to purchase a drone. Here the drone service provider is giving services for spraying of these chemicals. Okay. How this can be achieved by the very common practices or very popular now it is going to popular, that is the custom hiring centers. Here as an agriculturist or as a technical person, if you own your own drone, you can be a drone service provider. In that case, you can provide the drone on the hiring basis. And if you see, the efficiency is very high, and according to the drone type, they will have their own working time, and they they have their work performance of the timing, battery requirement, load capacity, all. As you choose it, you can be a earning person with the uh, a very um, um, mere knowledge of the drones. Okay. Now here government is also providing opportunities to start you as an entrepreneurship. Okay, to start your work as an entrepreneur. Okay, what are those? Indian agriculture drone sectors offers good entrepreneurship opportunities, whereas the drone as a service. Huh? This model is custom hiring and maintenance, and they provide you some sort of what you call subsidy, or they give you economical or financial support by providing some subsidy while purchasing the drones. Okay, drone as a custom hiring and pilot training and maintenance centers, if you see that, that is also provided here. Drone as a service, custom hiring is established in rural areas, pay per acre services to the smallholder farmers. You can farmer producer organizations. Okay, these farmer producer organizations or companies, they are having the large larger production on the larger area and in a clustered form. Okay, suppose soybean producing farmer producer organization is there. It will have thousands of hectares of the soybean. if you work with partnership with the FPO, then you will get a complete season booked for the work, and it is really a season. You will get a good amount of earning. Okay. AMC and support, if you are very uh, well equipped with the knowledge about the hardware and software, then you can go for annual maintenance and support. Here you will be learning for this support and AMC. You will be uh, a person who has the technical knowledge all about the repairing of the drones, assembling of the drones, and you will be having, just like you will be providing services for maintenance and regular operations of the drones. This is also a good opportunity that as an entrepreneur you can look into. Okay. Now this most of the popular is the Namo drone Didi. Here for the female farmer, it is the 80% subsidy, means up to 8 lakhs for the rural women. You are getting the subsidy. Here you can purchase your own. You can get your license through DGCA, and you can operate the drone for your field and for the others. Okay. SMAM, this also is giving the financial assistance up to 40 to 50%. Okay. And this is custom for the custom hiring centers, and agriculture infrastructure fund is it is also low interest loans for technical supports. Okay. These are some government schemes that submission on the agriculture mechanization. We have seen that in that center for custom hiring, FPO or farmer producer organization, Krishi Vignan Kendra, this and cooperatives. Here you can expand your work and look for the opportunities for good business. Okay. This Kisan Drone Initiative program, which is started by the Ministry of Agriculture in 2022, intends to encourage the use of drones for crop monitoring, fertilizer spraying, and land record digitization. And this include the training, support for the drone pilots, and collaboration between the public and private sectors to increase uses and promotion for the drone as a service model. This is also important. If you have surveying drone, you can go for the mapping of the land, so that the digitization of the land record, it is a massive mission by the government, where you can provide the service as an surveying drone and provide the imagery to the government and provide the data, and you will get the opportunity to earn. Here are the government schemes and subsidies for agri drones. That is the NABARD state level subsidy is there. ICAR and agriculture universities also get the government schemes, that is the drones and training programs to be being provided to these institutions, so that farmers can learn about the drones benefits, maintenance, and use through the live demonstration and the field test. Here the ICR and agriculture universities, what they are doing, they are establishing RPTO, that is the remote pilot training center. Okay, there you can participate, you can enroll and get a training of 6 months or 1 year, whatever may be the course, and you get the license, and then you provide the services. Another is Fasal Bima Yojana. There you are PMFBY. Those are being used more and more for the crop insurance, for survey of the crop damage, verification. All this nowadays you will see that all these what you called the claims by the farmers uh, for the disasters and for the economical benefit from the government. All these are mapped with the help of drone, and the reliance on the drone has been increased. There are some operational and regulatory frameworks that do work in the field of drones and its application. When you will be dealing with the drones, you must have some things in your bag. That is the digital sky platform. It is there, and the Directorate General of Civil Aviation (DGCA), okay, regulates the drone through the digital sky platform, a unified digital hub for airspace mapping, tracking, and licensing. Here, in the case of the drone, we are concerned with the licensing. We are able to fly the drone only if we have the license. Okay. Now, this licensing is a very important thing, and these regulations by the DGCA, those are also important. Excuse me. This remote pilot centers, there are also there are so many platforms. They are authorized to give the training, and you will get the certificate authorization by the DGCA. Okay. Now, ease of business, the government has liberalized the rules by waiving the requirement for an unmanned aircraft operator permit and supporting domestic manufacturing through the production linkage incentive scheme. Okay. Here you can go for the production of drones also. You will get what you call financial support from the government to establish as a startup for the drone production. Okay, you can establish your own drone producing company with the help of this PLI. Okay, production linked incentive. Okay, here it is one of the example I have mentioned, that when you start how to start your and what will be the roadmap. Just you the RPC, that is the remote pilot certificate, and then you will get the unique identity number. Then you go for acquire DGCA type of certified drones. Then you select the drones. While selecting drones, you take into consideration that select those drones which are being authorized by the DGCA and which are eligible for the uh, for the subsidies and government financial help. Okay. Then set field SOPs with the agronomist. If you want to provide the services to the farmer as uh, a service provided for the drone service provider, then you form a SOP. Okay, with the agronomist, with the help of agronomist, just like you prepare prescription map, then go for the detailed application of the agrochemicals. Okay, and then according to the protocol you launch, and for your customary center or your service providing agency, by marketing and FPO tie up for the season. Here you will get a complete picture how you will start, how you will link, and how you will grow in the market. Here I am giving some of the this is Indian Institute of Drone. I'm sharing this site where you can get there are multiple places where you can get the certificate courses, and you can enroll yourself, and you can get the certificate for drone pilot for these are, for example, I am giving you, these are the courses where you can get the, yeah, this course includes the DGCA certification. Okay. Now this ROI factor for the startups, you can average investment from the DGCA certified spraying drones 5.5 to 8 lakhs within a 50% subsidy under SMAM, and the effective cost drops significantly. Service revenue will get by 600 to 800 per acre, and daily coverage you can cover up to 25 to 35 acres you can do with this, and estimated payback is within 1 or 2 season of the operation. You will be coming out with the all investment as an nullified with the cost. Okay, uh, you will be clearing your all costs within 1 to 2 seasons of operations. These are some requirement for the remote pilot training, that is shall be attaining 18 years of the age. It should be DGC approved flying training organization. Okay. And the basic radio technology techniques, including knowledge of radio frequencies, flight planning, ATCs, that is required. Regulation specific to the area operations. Why this is? Because some places are no flight zone. Okay. Just like in sensitive areas, boundaries. Just previously, this Taj Mahal, it is no flight zone. Likewise, okay. Previously, it is the Mount Kailash, no flight zone. Even the sacred place, this what to call Tirupati, okay, Tirumala Tirupati, no fly zone. Okay, you cannot fly anything up to without any permissions. That is the regulation specific to the area of operation. Basic knowledge principles of flight and aerodynamics you are supposed to get with this training. Airspace structure and no drone zone, basic aviation metrology, all this you will learn with this remote pilot training. Okay. You can get this training uh, with the live component or simulated flight training. You can also get it, and to demonstrate the control remote pilot throughout its operation condition, you can have the all the options that you can do it with the live component or with the simulation. You see what things you should see in a or look for a drone. When you will be purchasing a drone, just remember that you should be purchasing the drone which is DGCA approved. Okay, which is having the DGCA approval that this drone is safe and meet all the safety and technical parameters required for the safe flight. Okay, just previously when there was no standard identification and the people was not having any idea about standards. Okay, at that time you must have seen the advertisement that you should purchase the electrical things having the ISI mark. Okay, ISI, Indian standards. Okay, that ISI mark you should look for the purchase of electrical elements. Okay. Now for the drones, the same applied is you look definitely assure that the drone you are purchasing is having the DGCA approval or DGCA permission. Okay. This this is the first and foremost thing while purchasing the drone. Then flight time and coverage area. Uh, you have to choose it for how much I need the capacity and how much area should we cover. And all this depend on some factors like payload capacity, battery cycle. Okay, all these are integrated things. Payload capacity again, a payload of 10 to 20 liters or more. Here, this payload capacity is important for the spraying drones. Okay, okay, and large is the payload capacity. More battery is required, but it will cover the large area. Okay, and camera and sensor operators options. This is for the surveying type of drones where you have to check that the what type of cameras or sensors are being offered with the drone. Okay, whether they are inbuilt or whether they are to be mounted, and if they are to be mounted, then whether sufficient infrastructure support like clutches or hinges that will catch the cameras, and if it is mounted on the cameras, whether mounted, if the cameras are externally mounted on the drone, whether that drone is stable, whatever things, whether it is integrated, all things you have to look before the purchase. And the sensors may be the RBG, that is red, green, blue, multispectral thermal sensors that aid the crop health monitoring, early disease detection, and more efficient irrigation scheduling. Okay. Fourth is the GPS and automation features. What automations they are provided? Automation means if the drone is a spraying drone, and automation here, you will find that when the drone sensors will capture the image of weed, whether the sprayer is automated with the sensor, that automatically sprayer will be on and it will spray on the weed. And when there will be a no patch of weed, the sprayer will automatically switch off. Likewise, that is GPS and automation features where it is available with the drone or not. Okay. Battery backup and charging time. This is most important thing. Build quality and weather resistance, how it is built, whether it is uh, sturdy structure or very delicate structure, whether it is weather resistance or not. And software integration. Software integration, again, the same part that I'm telling you, that if it captures the image or captures uh, the information, whether it is going to give you some sort of map or sort of the report to you, and this software integration is important in that case. Okay, these are the top agricultural drone companies in India. Why I am saying that, it is a very typical question from any type of drone lecture I got up till now, that they will definitely ask which drone I should purchase. Okay, which drone I should take it. Okay, this is a most study for better performing drones I am recommending. But it is your personal choice. But DJI Agres is the most sturdy and most stable performing drone up till now. It is there. DJI is the most trusted company. And if you see the Marut, it is a it is also Indian company providing good service. I would take AgriBoard again, Thanos, and these are again having different capacities, and its estimated cost ranks from the 14 lakhs to 6.5 lakhs. Okay. Now, these are the important things I told you, that it must have DGCA approval. The purchase, who is going to purchase, must have remote pilot license. You should be able to get the government subsidies only the drone is DGCA approved and you are having the remote pilot license. And if a family has a female farmer with the small holding of the land, and that she will get the 80% of the subsidy as compared to the male farm. This is the overcoming challenges. These are the from the early years, starting an agriculture drone business at such a young age posed unique challenges. That is the establishing credibility, defining roles, adapting technology. Okay, this you have to make you as an trusted company or trusted what you call the agency that will be having the credibility. And if you are working in a team, then define your roles. Do not do the overlapping responsibilities. Just do whatever one person is doing in that company, let him do it, and do not overlap the responsibilities. And adapting to the technology, this is the only thing. Learn and learn. Update yourself. Always update yourself. Always update yourself. It is a simple example that your Samsung or any Android mobile, it will definitely ask for updating itself after few days immediately. Okay, within 15 days, 1 month, it will ask autonomously that system is need to be upgraded or you updated. Then you choose it, upgrade it, update it. Okay, the same way you have to keep your knowledge updated, because this is a very highly emerging field. It is always changing field, very dynamic field. There are so many changes are, and advancement is going on in technology also. So you must be adapting the technologies with the same rate that it is changing. Diversifying services, you diversify your services. Okay, if you are providing the services, you provide the farmers, you provide to the FPO also. If you are providing only spraying services, do have the services of mapping also. Okay, cover crop seeding. Okay, invasive species management. Likewise, if you are spraying, you go for mapping also. Okay, and you maintain the utility corridor maintenance, food plot preparation. If all the diversification you keep in your work. Okay, just I will give you example. Previously, in the 2022, the drones were used for the domestic purpose only. And what was the domestic purpose? Domestic purpose was recording the rallies, recording the huge functions like marriages, any celebrations. That was the major area of drone utilization. Okay, but nowadays drone is utilized everywhere, everywhere. So grab that opportunities and expand your business. Okay, these are the how to build a profitable agriculture drone business. First is start small but dream big. Okay, you cannot start with the big, because if you start with the big, your mistakes will be also big, and that will lead to a big loss. Instead of that, you start with the small and dream big. Seek help from the build relationship, and take help from your relatives, your friend circle to expand your business. Just find your niche. What is your niche area? Be prepared for the hard work, communicate and collaborate for the expansion of the work. And you can be key takeaways from the you for you That is, the drones are the game changers in the agriculture, offering precision, efficiency, and sustainability. Credibility takes time, but it builds on the results. So focus on delivering value to client through the accurate, cost-effective applications. Diversification ensures stability. So you explore the opportunities beyond the crop spraying, such as invasive species management, wetland. You go for your search of your work. Okay. Networking is essential, very essential. Build a relationship with the local farm organization, trade shows, administrator, all things. You go for maximizing your approach and maximizing your limits. Adapting to technology is non-negotiable. I told you that the technology is always changing, so you need to get it updated always. Entrepreneurship is demanding but rewarding. It demand your all attention, all your sacrifices, but it will definitely give you reward. Don't let age as a to be a barrier. Whatever may be your age, start your work and do your best. Thank you. These are some references.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Neha.
Yeah.
Whether it is enough, because I am having a meeting at
Sorry, ma'am. I'm not able to get what. Sorry.
Wait. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Now you're audible.
Yes. I'm telling you that I have a next program of
Mm-hmm. Ma'am, actually, there's a glitch in your voice. We are not able to hear what you're saying properly. Actually, I'm not able to hear that.
okay.
Yeah. Ma'am, can I just open the chat box? Like, I can enable it for all. If anyone will have any query, like the participants, they can drop it right there, and you can answer for next 10 minutes. Ma'am, I guess
Sure.
we're having some network issue right here. Ma'am, I'm just doing one thing. I'm just enabling the chat box for 10 minutes. And if any participants wants to like interact with you or ask any questions, they can drop their questions right there and you can answer them accordingly. Our next guest will be joining us soon. Till then, all are requested to stay connected. I guess our next esteemed speaker has also joined us. Dr. Ravi Kumar Dodia, sir, am I audible to you?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, sir, I'll be starting with your introduction and then you can continue forward with your session. So, good afternoon, everyone. Now, I welcome Dr. Ravi Kumar Dhirubai Dodia, who is an emerging scientist in the field of agricultural entomology, currently serving as an assistant research scientist entomology at the Date Palm Research Station, Mundra, Gujarat. He completed his PhD in entomology from Sardar Kushinagar Dantiwada Agriculture University with a strong academic record and has also qualified ICAR NET in agriculture and entomology. His academic journey includes MSc Agriculture from Anand Agriculture University and BSc Honours Agriculture from Junagadh Agriculture University, reflecting a solid foundation in agricultural sciences. Dr. Dodia has made notable contributions to research in insect pest management, molecular characterization, and biological control, with several research publications, review papers, and gene submissions to international databases. His work focuses on pest dynamics, eco friendly management practices, and innovative technologies like CRISPR based pest control. He has received multiple recognitions, including the Best MSc Thesis Award and the Young Researcher Award, along with active involvement in academy, extension, and farm advisory activities. He also plays a leadership role in professional bodies, serving as state president of the All India Agricultural Student Association, Gujarat, showcasing the commitment to both scientific advancement and community engagement. We are truly delighted to have Dr. Ravi Kumar among us today. Sir, a very warm welcome to AgroVision 2.0. The stage is all yours, sir.
Thank you, Neha, for introducing me.
Thank you so much, sir.
My screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible now.
Okay. So today's our lecture is on the modern entomology with CRISPR gene editing. So we will go through background information of the genome editing, then after its techniques, then its timeline and development, and then after know the what is the CRISPR and what is CRISPR-Cas9, its key player, then mechanism, and different delivery method and several case studies. As you all know that the world population is expanding and food production must rise. As we know that in 1960, there are 3 billion people are in the world, and day by day it's increased, and it is expected to by 2050, we will need to increase the food production by 70% for the 9 billion people. But there are so many crop losses done by insect pest, among which weeds goes 28%, rodent alone goes 8%, stored product pest goes 10%, and disease 25%, and insect goes 23%. To combat such catastrophic losses, there are need to develop new insect pest control method. So plant resistance to insect pest may be improved by plant breeding or target trait engineering, which is one of the greatest way to safeguard the plant. As the use of pest-resistant plant variety, one of the most effective way to reduce the negative impact of insect pest on crop production and reuse. There are several recent advancements in novel breeding techniques offered to potentially develop pest resistance variety of the plant. The concept of genome editing in agricultural plant was established a decade ago. It revolutionized the plant research in every way. So there is a here comparison of different breeding methods used in modern agriculture. First one is the cross breeding method, which takes 8 to 10 years to develop the new variety. Then mutation breeding, it also take 8 to 10 years for the selection and break cross for development of mutant from the elite variety. And then a transgene breeding, it takes 8 to 12 years for foreign gene integration. And then comes to genome editing. It takes only 4 to 6 years for the development of regenerative plant and development of elite variety with insect resistance. So as compared to rest of the breeding method, genome editing takes lesser time. Now come to the know what is genome editing techniques. First, what is genome? Entire genetic material of the organism or cell is called genome. Then genetic engineering, the introduction or change of any DNA, RNA, protein, or any of the part of the DNA genome by the human manipulation to affect the change in organism genome. It's called genetic engineering. And now come to the genome editing, a type of genetic engineering in which DNA is inserted, replaced, or removed from the genome using artificially engineered nuclease or molecular scissor in the genome of living organism. There are several techniques in which meganuclease, zinc finger nuclease, TAL effector nuclease, and CRISPR-Cas9. Now we see the comparison of different genome editing tools. Among that different, CRISPR-Cas is a higher efficacy toward the target recognition. We will see later on the how recognize the target, then kind of action. It's action on double-stranded breaking target DNA. There is lesser chance of mutagenesis and target range. It is limited by palm. We will see in the later on this lecture what is a palm and how we control the CRISPR. And come to the cost. CRISPR has a low cost and improvement of the crop is very high, and its range also high, and future use it also high as compared to rest of the genome editing tools. Now come to the timeline and its development. First report of CRISPR cluster repeat was on 1997. Then after 2002, 2007, where the first experiment evidence for the CRISPR confirmed adaptive immunity. Then after 2012, they are studied in CRISPR in vitro. Then genome editing in mammalian cells started in 2013. Then 2015, discovery of Cas12a, which is also one of the protein of the CRISPR. Then in 2020, the discovery of VF CRISPR. Now there is a two scientists which received the Nobel Prize in 2020 in chemistry. One is Jennifer Doudna and then Emmanuel Carpenter for the development of method for genome editing using CRISPR-Cas9. Now, what is CRISPR-Cas9? CRISPR is a clustered, regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats. It is a gene editing technique that enables the precise cutting of specific DNA section, resulting in the inactivation of the gene or the replacement of one gene version with another. It's first discovered downstream of the alkaline phosphatase isozyme gene in Escherichia coli. Then initially it was assumed that CRISPR acts on RNA, as in case RNA interference, but Marfini in South Korea in 2008 demonstrated that CRISPR target the DNA and it could be programmed. Now come to the what is palindromic repeats. Palindromic repeats are unique sequences which are present in the genome of the insect, in which in the bacteria there is a Cas9 protein it's present, in which there are several sequences of genome in which these are repeat sequences are arranged in CRISPR array, and also there is a spacer. In this repeat sequence, we involve the we can insert our target gene inside the bacteria in the Cas9 gene. Now come to the Cas9 structure. Cas9 is a protein, is a 6 domain. First one is REC domain. It is the largest and responsible for the binding guide to RNA. Then role of REC2 domain is not yet well understood. Then RG9 bridge helix is for initiating the cleavage activity with target DNA sequence. Then PALM interacting with the domain responsible for the initiating binding to target DNA. Then HNS, HNH, and RUBC are nucleus domain that cut the single-stranded DNA. Now this is a short video that shows the how does the Cas9 cut the foreign DNA. Here we can see that this alpha helical and bridge helix. Here our single-guided RNA structure. This form Cas9 structure. This Cas9 structure attached with the target DNA strand and cut with the help of the HNX and alpha helix. Now come to the key pair of CRISPR-Cas9. Here, CRISPR RNA, then tracer RNA, this transactive RNA that bind with CRISPR RNA and form active complex. Then single-guided RNA. The single-guided RNA guide Cas9 to cleave the DNA at the specific position. Then Cas9 first identified from the Streptococcus pyogenes bacteria. The nucleus Cas9 cut acts as a molecular scissor to cut the DNA strand. Now, what is the PALM? PALM is a protospacer adjunct motif is required for Cas nucleus to cut and generally found 3 to 4 nucleotides downstream from the cut site. It means where our target cut site is here in the figure, and PALM sequence are present near about 3 to 4 nucleotides from that. That guide our single-guided RNA or Cas9 structure to stop the cutting of the specific gene sequence from that nucleotide. How now we can see that in the bacterial cell, when the first exposure of the any invasion of the bacteria or any other insect pest or any invader, DNA enter into the bacterial cell. Then when the invader DNA enter into the bacterial cell, it bind with the CRISPR gene where the spacer are arranged. In the spacer area, these invader DNA are arranged, attached with the CRISPR locus, and then pre-cRNA come to the action and cut that target site from the invader DNA. And then after they develop the case proteins with CRISPR RNA complex. When the second time the bacterial cell were invaded by the any organism which is harmful, this Cas9 protein which already has no the target sequence of that invader DNA. So it bind with that specific area and directly destroy that invader DNA. And it's called the adaptive immunity. Here the video which shows the how that CRISPR-Cas9 act in the bacteria.
The CRISPR method is based on a natural system used by bacteria to protect themselves from infection by viruses. When the bacterium detects the presence of virus in the cell, it produces two types of short RNA, one of which contains a sequence that matches that of the virus. These two RNAs form a complex with a protein called Cas9. Cas9 is a nuclease, a type of enzyme that cut DNA. When the matching sequence, known as a guide RNA, finds its target within the viral genome, the Cas9 cuts the target DNA, disabling the virus. When this happens, the cell tries to repair the cut, but the repair process is error-prone, leading to mutations that disable the chain, allowing researchers to understand its function. These mutations are random, but sometimes researchers need to be more precise, for example, by replacing the mutant gene with a healthy copy. This can be done by adding another piece of DNA that carries the desired sequence. Once the CRISPR system is fully cut, this DNA template will be paired with the cut ends, recombining and replacing the original sequence with a new version.
Okay. Now come to the delivery method of CRISPR-Cas9. There are several methods for the delivery of the CRISPR-Cas9. There are biologistic transformation in which they use the gene gun to insert the target DNA to inside the cell. Then protoplast transformation, agrobacterium tumefacil transformation, agrobacterium lysozyme transformation. These four methods are mainly used for the pathological point of view to transmit the resistant gene inside the plant against the disease. Now come to the embryonic microinjection. This method mainly used for the insect to develop the resistant strain or develop the mutation. This appender for Femto Z4 microinjector attached to the injectment for joystick. This microscope-like device which is used for the injection of the target DNA inside the embryo of the egg of the insect. Now come to the several case studies. First one is the CRISPR-Cas9 mediated knockout of the abdominal A homeotic gene in the fallopian moth. In this study, scientists use the insect strain that are larva Spodoptera furcicola corn strain and multiple species of artificial dye. Then after they go for the identification and genetic analysis of the Spodoptera furcicola abdominal A gene, for which they use to mutate that specific gene. Then after they go for the mRNA for the medical tissue of fallopian adult, then isolate 2 RNA minikit used for the isolation purpose, then muscle alignment algorithm, then CRISPR-Cas9 mediated gene editing. Then go for the exon 1 region of the specific Spodoptera furcicola abdominal A gene. Then designed using a simple guided RNA by the use of Broad Institute of this website. Now, embryo microinjection. Eggs were aligned in single row on the slide with micropile of single guided RNA around 250 nanogram per microliter along with Cas9 protein around 500 nanogram per microliter. They are injected inside the embryo and within a 4 hours of oviposition. After injection of embryo, were incubated in a humidified chamber. Then after they go for the genome DNA extraction and identification of this particular genotype gene mutation. Then unhatched embryo and hind leg of moth used for the specific purpose. Then they go for the HRMA, high resolution belt analysis and sequencing were used to genotype potential of Spodoptera furgicoda abdominal A mutation in the specific single-guided RNA embryos and moth. Then come to the result: identification and characterization of Spodoptera furgicoda abdominal A gene. In this research, they first identify the specific gene that they want to mutation. For that, they go for the different isoform found from the Spodoptera furgicoda abdominal A gene. From that, they use the isoform A, and from that particular part, they use the intron and intron 2, this target sequence, from which they mutate this Spodoptera furgicoda abdominal gene. And then after they go for phylogenetic analysis for the confirmation of that, they identify the right abdominal gene. Then when they inserted that Cas9 protein inside the embryo of the Spodoptera furgicoda adult moth, then they find out that in Spodoptera furgicoda abdominal A gene mutated, where the hatching percentage of 25% only, as compared to only single-guided RNA injection, which where no Spodoptera furgicoda abdominal A mutation gene was inserted, and in compared to uninjected control, 85%. Then after they go for the further life cycle from the development of larva to pupa, and out of 25%, only 70% goes for the larva to pupa, as compared to the uninjected control where 97%, it means all the larva goes to the pupa. And then after development of pupa to adult, where the 95% mutation and pupa converted into adult, and then after they go for the mosaic percentage, in which they find out that 19% mosaic was find out in the Spodoptera furgicoda abdominal A single-guided RNA injected embryo, egg embryo. Now come to the result. Here we can show the 3-day-old unhatched, uninjected eggs that are already hatched and they are look like healthy. But in the lower photograph, we can see the 3-day-old egg that were injected with Spodoptera furgicoda abdominal A single-guided RNA. It means they mutated the specific gene inside the single-guided RNA and inserted inside the egg embryo, and then after go for their evolution, and they find out that only one egg hatched from out of the 100, and rest of the egg were found the blackish color, which means that they are not hatched. And then after they find out the larva which are treated with a particular mutation of the gene, they find out that second instar larva and fifth instar larva shows the particular combination of joining of the abdominal segment in 8th and 5th abdominal segment, and also in the 4th instar larvae they find out the abnormal prolapse. And when come to the pupa, they show the pupa, which is in where the antenna is find out the different in mutation period, and also in 8th and 9th abdominal segment that is the mutation where seen, which is compared to the wild treatment, where healthy pupa was seen completely, while in the abdominal mutated pupa shows the deformation inside that from above and below the surface. Then come to pupa to the adult, where the abdominal A gene mutated adult show the mutation in adult, where the abdominal tip which shows the completely mutated and turn into outward side, while adult moth, female moth shows the color fed and lower in size as compared to the wild one. And then after they cut the ovary of the female adult, which is already mutated, and show that the embryo inside the adult ovary, which is show the blackish color lesions inside that. It means it shows the completely discoloration or completely mutation inside the ovary of the particular Spodoptera furgicoda. And after they saw the also pituitary gland present inside that abdominal moth in adult of female, where the complete deformation was seen inside that. And here the last photograph shows the photograph which shows the ovary position. Ovary position also had mutation. Then after they go for the high resolution analysis and find out that Spodoptera furgicoda abdominal A single-guided RNA embryos and moths, they show the injected embryos shows the variation in the particular analysis. It means they confirm that they find out the right gene for the mutation and carry out the mutation inside the adult insect. Then after they extract the genomic DNA and identification of the Spodophila falciparum abdomen A mutation, and compared to wild, they shows the in all the 10 mutated, in which they show the specific cut of the or specific deficient of the genome sequence inside the mutated adult. Now come to the summary of this particular experiment. The majority of the embryo injected with Spodophila falciparum abdomen A single-guided RNA did not hatch, resulted in complete loss of the abdominal A function, and mutant male appeared sterile because no eggs were deposited by the wild type female. Only one mutant female exhibited any evidence of oviposition, although few eggs were deposited and did not hatch. Now come to the second case study. The CRISPR-Cas9 mediated mutagenesis of the major sex pheromone gene in SIPO enzyme delta 9 desaturase DAY-9 enzyme in the folarum. Here the scientists mutated the specific sex pheromone gene DAY-9 gene in the folarum. For that they use the material method, stroke culture of Spodophila falciparum. They rear it on a chickpea-based artificial diet, and then isolation and characterization of that particular DAY-9 gene. For that, they use the single female adult, isolate that particular gene with isolate 2 RNA beneath it. Then DAY-9 gene was characterized for intron and exon structure annotated using the bioproject available in NCBI. Then after they designed the guide RNA with the CRISPR tool available at the CRISPR website. Then after they go for the embryonic microinjection, individual eggs were arranged on the glass side and RNA complex microinjection were performed using appendo-femto jet for microinjector attached to the injectment for joystick aperture. This is a particular microscopic device which is used for the embryonic microinjection. Then after they go for the identification of mutation, they finally start larvae used for that purpose, and Gen Z genomic DNA isolation is used. Then after they go for the mating assay for mutant. HM larvae were reared on chickpea-based artificial diet until the pupation. Surviving adult was single pair mated to wild individual and screened their progeny. And rate of oviposition for female and hatching percentage were recorded. First, they go for the isolation of the specific DAY-9 gene. After they isolate the DAY-9 gene, they go for the phylogenetic analysis, as they find out that they isolate the right gene for DAY-9 gene for the mutation. Then after they go for the bioinformatic architecture for the designing single-guided RNA. For that they use exon 1 region from the DAY-9 gene for the deletion of the particular gene. The DAY-9 gene consists of 4 exons ranging from the 131 to 508 base pair. The nucleate sequence for the first exon generated number of high-quality single-guided RNA, and 2 single-guided RNA in the first exon with the best score was selected. Now then go for the embryonic microinjection of DAY-9 and mutant percentage, and they find out that from our injected single-guided RNA and Cas9 protein, they 23% larva hatch from the egg as compared to uninjected control where it's 79%, and from the larva only 13% pupa developed, and from 9% only adult were developed. From that adult, 6 were male and 7 were female, and among them 2 mutant male, it means 1.5%, and 3 mutant female, it means 2.26% were found as compared to rest of the control. And then after they go for the effect of, they check the effect of CRISPR-Cas9 induced mutation of DAY-9 on the fecundity rate and hatching percent of Spodophila falciparum adult. And from that they find out that where they use the wild male with wild female, the first graph, it shows the highest number of total oviposition pair per adult and hatching percentage was seen. And then they go for the mating with the mutant one. They find out the lesser or no hatching percentage or no oviposition was find out. But when they use the mutant male and wild female, they find out that it around 80% hatching percentage as compared to the rest of the treatment. It means when they use the mutant female and mated with wild, it shows the no oviposition, no hatching percentage or no oviposition. Then after this chromatograph study shows the DAY-9 gene structure of the protein structure of mutant compared with the wild Spodophila falciparum adult. And here this sequence shows the how much genome sequence were changed from the wild one to mutated one. In first one, we can see the deficiency or lack of the sequence of ATGC was present as compared to the wild one in the mutant female. And also we can see that one in a mutant female also, likewise also. And here the wild one protein structure as present in the image, where we can see the single guided RNA, single guided RNA 1 and 2, and this protein structure of the mutant female and male, which was completely changed due to mutation of the DAY-10 gene. Now come to this summary of this research. The DAY-10 is an important gene which is associated with the reproductive success of Scotophila versicolor female. And crossing studies between the wild male and mutant female resulted in no fecundity, while fecundity was normal when mutant male crosses with the wild female. This indicates the mating disruption is stronger in the female where DAY-10 is mutated. Now come to the third case study. The CRISPR-Cas9 mediated genome editing of gustatory receptor LUGR23 specific gene sequence was made sterility in the brown plant hopper Nilparvata lesions. In this study, scientists mutated the specific gene for the made sterility in brown plant hopper and then go for the further assay. For that this type of study, they use the Nilparvata lesion strain that rear on gene. Then after go for the identification of phylogenetic analysis of that particular gene. Then for that they use the testis, carsus, midgut, fat body, accessory gland, antenna, labium from the 5-day-old unmated adult male. Then use the micro EU total RNA kit for the identification and identification of the specific gene, and to analyze the phylogenetic relationship of Nilparvata regions with this GRS gene. Then they go for the CRISPR-Cas9 mediated gene editing. For that, they use exon 2 region of the specific gene for the target site. According to screening criterion, they use the chop-chop device for the development of single-guided RNA. Then after they go for the embryonic micro injection, crossing and genotyping and single pair mating assay, in which they use the one virgin female was transferred into transparent glass tube containing rice seedling at the killing stage. After the period of adoption, one virgin male was then introduced into the same tube, and mating latency and copulation duration, the number of egg laid per female, the hatching rate of different mating combination recorded to examine the effect of parental genotype on sexual behavior and fecundity. In this study, they used in the first generation, they used the mutated with wild one female. Then after first generation, they find out the 50% of the mutated gene, and then again they cross with the wild one, and they find out that mutation with both type, in which 100% mutation of this particular gene and 50% mutation in this specific gene. And then again in cross of this both in G2 generation, second generation, and then find out that in third generation 100% mutation in specific gene, no mutation, and 50% mutation in that specific gene. Then they after go for the sperm assay. For that, the testis isolated from the individual 5-day-old unmated male, or the seminal receptacle was dissected from the individual 5-day-old mated female. A cowsley was placed on the top of the testis and gently pressed one time to squeeze the testis or spermatheca and release the sperm into the medium. Slide was placed under the imager J1 microscope equipped with digital camera. Testing for the suppression of female fertility by crossing with male of different genotype before replacing them with wild male. For that, they used the 5-day-old brown plant hopper. One virgin wild female was paired with one virgin wild or mutated male and reared together for 3 days. After 3 days, the mated male was removed and replaced with a new virgin wild male. The number of nymphal progeny that hatch was counted. For first, they isolate the specific gene and they go for the phylogenetic analysis and find out that they isolated the right gene that and Nilparvata lesions GR23. And then after they go for the expression pattern for that particular gene in male tissue, then find out that in the midgut tissue and antennal tissue, this expression of this specific gene was higher as compared to the testis or tarsus and other accessory gland and fat bodies. Then they go for the CRISPR-Cas9 mediated genome editing and find out that from exon 2, this is the target site they selected for the mutation of that specific gene. And then after they go for the single pair mating assay, in which they record the mating latency in meaning, mating duration, hatching rate, and number of eggs deposited per female, in which they first use the wild male and female as in one treatment, and then after wild female and mutated male, in which they find out the lower number of mating latency as compared to the control one. While in the mutated female and wild male, where mating latency was found higher, while come to the mating duration also was similar to mating latency, but number of egg oviposited in terms that find out the where the wild female mutated with a mutated male, they show the less number of oviposited egg as compared to the wild male and wild female, and also wild male proceed with the mutated female, and both where mutated male and female cross where show the less number of egg oviposited as compared to the wild one. And come to the hatching percentage, where the wild female and mutated male crossed, they show the less hatching percentage, around 5 to 10%, and as compared to the rest of them. And also where they use the both male and female mutated, also show the similar hatching percentages with the wild female and mutated male. And then after they find out the single pair mating assay, in which way they find out that in the where the both male and female which use mutated, they show the no embryonic development inside the egg cell as compared to the wild one. While in the other one where they use the both male and female with 50%, they show the embryonic dispersion inside the egg cell. Here the sperm flagella bioassay performed to assess the activation level of the sperm produced by male, both from the wild and from the mutant one. The mutant one is required for the initiation of the embryogenesis. Here in the figure, we can see that these sperm which are transmitted inside the from the testis, they go for the from here to here, but activity was found less in mutated one as compared to the wild one. And then after they go for the suppression of the female fertility by crossing with the male of different genotype before the replacing them with the wild one. In this, let's say they use the one wild female, they cross with the mutated male, and then after they 3 days after they cross with the again they cross this wild female with the mutated male, and then after they collect egg from the individual female for 6 days and record the number of HF proceeding and find out that first and second cross both with the wild male shows the highest number of offspring, around 200 as compared to mutated first cross with mutated and second cross with the wild one shows the less than 50% number of offspring. Then after they go for the genomic sequence for G3 mutant male and show that they find out that target DNA sequence was mutated inside the mutant male. Now come to the summary of experiment that knockout out fecundity of related GR gene in NLUGR23 in reproductive regions and model Hemiptera insect found this mutant insect showed the normal morphology and mating behavior. Homozygous mutant adult female and had normal fertility, while homozygous mutant male were infertile. Homozygous mutant sperm were motile and capable to enter the egg, but failed to undergo zygote formation. Moreover, homozygous mutant were able to suppress the female fertility. Now come to the conclusion of this our lecture. The use of CRISPR-Cas technology in the field of entomology has considerable potential, including wide range of application in pest management and scientific investigation. Within the field of insect pest management, the use of CRISPR technology allows the precise genetic modification that may effectively foster the resistance mechanism or regulate the population dynamics. The implementation of this innovation has a capacity to significantly transform the field of agriculture as it aims to reduce the dependence on chemical pesticides while advocating for the use of more environmentally friendly pest management methods. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I guess, sir, I'm audible to you.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your such an enlightening session. Sir, we are having participants right here. If you want, sir, I can just enable the chat box and whatever the questions they want to ask to you, or whatever the queries they are having regarding a particular session or presentation, they can put into that, and for the next 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, you can answer it accordingly. So, sir, will it be okay for you if I just enable the participants to like drop their questions in the chat box?
Sure.
Okay, sir. Sir, I guess we have one question also. How we do CRIPSR in plants? CRIPSR in plants, yeah. The chat box is enabled for all. Whoever wants to ask any questions, they can drop down their questions in that.
For the CRISPR inside the plant, there are several methods which we have already discussed. For the delivery method, there are one of the biological transformation, the first transformation. Where in the biological transformation, they use the gene gun in which they coated the DNA with gold particle, and they inserted this gold particle with DNA inside the cell with the help of gene gun. Then another one is the protoplast transformation, where they use the protoplast and incubation of the vector, and then after the regeneration from the protoplast. And another method was agrobacterium tumefaciens, the bacteria transformation method. There are two bacteria, agrobacterium tumefaciens and agrobacterium lysogen. Both are used for the transformation of a specific gene inside the plant through the CRISPR technology.
So we can wait for like 4 to 5 more minutes. If there will be any questions,
Okay.
you can address that. And if not, then we'll be like closing with the session.
Okay. No.
Okay, sir. Sir, I have received some questions. One is that what are some successful examples of CRISPR edited crops that have reached farmers or commercial cultivation?
for the commercial cultivation of the any plant, but I think there is no any successful plant that are reached at commercial cultivation to the farmer till date, because this technology is very costly for the scientist or researcher or for any firm or any organization or any companies which are use this CRISPR technology, because these are too costly. There are chemical need to be precise, so there are no any successful cultivation of that specific crop to the farmer level.
And sir, what role can genome editing play in improving pest and disease resistance in crops?
Sorry.
Sir, what role can genome editing play in improving the pest and disease resistance in crops?
Pest and disease resistance in crop, as we are seen in the lecture, that different method used for the identification of the specific gene, for the mutation of that specific gene, and through the mutation of the specific gene we can use to rear that mutated male or female, and we can release in the wild or in the field, so that cross with the healthier one or wild one, and then after the progeny or successive generation will be discontinued due to the mutation of the specific male or female.
So we are also having questions in the chat box. One is how CRISPR is an improvement over earlier splash technology. I repeat my question, sir. How CRISPR is an improvement over earlier splash technology?
Sorry, I am audible. Okay. As compared to place technology, CRISPR is a very easier, timely, efficient, and we can edit multiple genes at a time as compared to splash technology. However, I didn't very much know about this splash technology, but in the CRISPR, we can use the multiple gene editing through this technology.
Is CRISPR gene do have an healthy risk issues or off-target effects? If then, how can it be controlled?
However, this is a question, is a legal question or that type. But recently, the research has been initiated from the last few years on a CRISPR to in insect pest or plant to develop its resistance. However, that risky issue, it is not till then come to the field level, as these are only at in the laboratory level experiment are present. They are found successful. If any risk issue are raised or any off-target effect are found, that will be found in the when we release in the mass of the insect.
Okay, sir. One question is, what is the future scope of CRISPR technology in agriculture over the next decade? I repeat my question, sir. What is the future scope
Okay,
of...
I got the question. There are so many future scope, but in come to the entomology point of view, there is a need to identify some new target genes, which are play important role for the insect growth and development, and also need to develop the susceptible strains for insect pest against the insecticide. So our insect pest become susceptible for the single dose of insecticide, and also find out the new gene of the invasive pest. So we can directly control the invasive pest which come to our country or any other country which is not present at earlier. So we can control it by initial level.
Okay. And sir, what skills and knowledge should students develop if they wish to pursue research in genome editing and CRISPR technologies?
Sorry?
Just a minute, sir. I'll be repeating it. Just a minute, sir. I'll be repeating it. What skills and knowledge should students develop if they wish to pursue research in genome editing and CRISPR technologies?
For this, they need to first go for the biotechnology. study of the biotechnology in master and PhD or also in postdoc. Here in our India, there is a one of the institute, Indian Institute of Horticulture Research for Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. The scientists have developed a special CRISPR cell or department for the CRISPR technology. Student can contact at there for any training or any other purpose. Also, there are so many training are available online on CRISPR and also training available to offline at different countries or also in India.
Okay, sir. And if you could identify one agricultural problem in India that CRISPR technology can realistically solve within the next 5 years, what would it be and why?
In the terms, we can see the fall armyworm, which is the recently invasive pest for the maize, which caused the havoc in the maize cultivation. And also through the scientists have developed the mutation inside the male or female of the Scotophila fertipoda. So they can use the specific technique for genome identification technique to target the new invasive pest like Thrips parvis spinus, Rugospiraling whitefly for identify the specific gene sequence of that specific insect, and they develop the mutation, mutant male and female both.
Okay, sir. Sir, what are the key challenges in delivering the CRISPR components into the plant cells or anything like that?
There are key challenges in the delivery method. First, precise, timely, and need to be accurate. If minor change in the protoplasm infusion or gene gun method, then the mutation will occur, or certain mutation which is favor to our result, or some type of mutation that not be done or maybe become harmful, more aggressive pest. It will be this type of challenges are present, and one of the most precise challenge is too costly. These methods are too costly for genome editing. Here in the chat box, I can see that one question, both the technology only male insect are targeted. How about female? There are several case studies are also available on the female insect. They targeted both male and female to develop the mutant insect, and they release that particular insect in the laboratory to mate with the wild female. And one of the case study of ground plant hopper, we see that they first cross with the mutant and then second cross with the wild one, where they found the 50% of hatching percent reduced as compared to the wild one. So we can use both male and female for the development of mutant in through the CRISPR technology.
Okay, sir. Sir, I guess that we are almost done with the questions. We are not having any more lined up right here. So we'll be concluding the session, sir. So thank you so much, sir. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to you for your insightful and enriching session. Your valuable knowledge and practical perspectives have truly inspired us all. We sincerely appreciate your time, your effort, and contribution. Thank you, sir, for such an informative and engaging interaction. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next guest will be joining us soon, like within 5 to 6 minutes. Till then, stay connected. Good evening, everyone. Our next guest has also joined us. I guess, sir, I'm audible to you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, sir. Welcome, sir. I'll be like starting with your introduction and then we can move forward with your session. Okay.
Go ahead.
Now it is my great privilege to welcome our distinguished speaker for today, Dr. Devender Kumar, who serves as the Chief Operating Officer in the FMCG sector, bringing with him extensive experience in operations, management, and strategic leadership. With a strong professional background, he has been instrumental in driving organizational efficiency, business growth, and innovation within the fast moving consumer goods industry. His expertise lies in aligning operational excellence with business objectives, ensuring sustainable development and competitive performance. Known for his dynamic leadership and result oriented approach, Dr. Kumar has contributed significantly to streamlining processes and fostering a culture of continuous improvement. His insights into industry practices and real world challenges make his perspective highly valuable for both professionals and students alike. So his journey stands as an inspiration for aspiring individual aiming to build impactful career in the corporate and FMCG domain. We are truly honored to have you with us, sir. Your presence and insights are greatly valued, and we look forward to an enriching session ahead. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for a great introduction. So I am obliged, and I work in FMCG and retail industries. So both equally that. Okay, let me share my deck. And is it visible now?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Can you just brief me the profile of students who are attending this session?
Sir, they are basically from agriculture and allied sectors.
Agriculture and allied.
Yes.
Also, please check whether it's moving presentation.
Yes, sir, it is moving.
Okay,
Yes.
good. So good to go. Yes. So thank you, Neha, for the wonderful introduction. And without further ado, I will just take you through. Now, today I'm going because I'm a retailer who worked in India and Middle East and Africa. So I will try to bring in relative understanding of retail side of business, as well as I'll also bring in connect how agri students, agri entrepreneurs can connect to retail. So if in future if you want to select agri retailing, you can get a lot of inputs insight from this session. So now what are the key topics I will cover today is we will understand the retail dynamics, which is the basic fundamentals of retail and distribution channels. We will also talk about modern retail and traditional retail. We will understand Indian and global retail landscape. We will also understand growth drivers and future trends. And we'll do a small sneak peek into various functions of retail so that help you to understand retail dynamics. So before we talk about retail, we normally talk about channels of distribution, which is now about how the goods move from one channel to another channel and how it gets evolved. And we can also draw parallels to agri business. So a channel of distribution on the left side, if you see, it is all about starting goods get manufactured in factory, moves to warehouse. From warehouse, it goes to distributor and wholesale, and it goes to retail, both offline and online, and finally to the end consumer. So factory. So if you say factory as a agri farm or a field where your agri produce is produced, harvested, and goes to various distribution channels, which is wholesale mandi, or now it has got evolved into collection centers, farm gate collection centers, various companies have. From there, they get distributed into, they've been bought into retail stores, and finally, consumer buys either offline or online. So it is almost same if it is agri or any other FMCG goods. Now, what is retailing? Everybody now talks about retail, which is evolving. Actually, retailing is about a distribution process where in all activities that involved in selling merchandise directly to the final consumer. So this is very critical. So it is the final consumer who intends to use the product. It could be consumer or customer. The term retail derives from French word called retailler, which means to cut the bulk into pieces, to break the bulk. So it involves goods from the single point, which is malls, markets, or department store directly to consumers in small quantities for their end use. Essentially, retail is about breaking the bulk products into single units for individual consumer. So entire activity, if you see, it is about consumer, individual consumer. So consumer facing industry, customer facing industry is all about retail. So it bridges the gap between manufacturer or a farmer to end consumers by providing a convenient space for them to sell. Now, what are various types of organized retail? So you can say various kinds of organized retail formats, which most of you know is about supermarkets. Supermarkets are normally in 2000 to 2500 square foot, which will have fresh produce, which will have daily used FMCG. FMCG means fast moving consumer goods, which is food and non-food, and categories like dairy, that is milk, curd, and bakery items. Typically, a supermarket is a neighborhood convenience store with a 2000 to 2500 square foot. And department store, which will actually large size departmental stores like Shopper Stop, Lifestyle, these are all mostly focused on to lifestyle products, apparels, perfumes, fashion items, all of that comes in departmental stores. Hypermarkets are typically like supermarkets but large in size. If a supermarket is 2000 square foot, hypermarkets are around 40,000, 50,000, even 1 lakh square foot. Some of the stores which I worked were 1 lakh to 1 lakh plus square foot size of stores. And discount stores, this is like your DMart. In India, DMart, world over, I will explain when world over comes. So they are all typically about giving more discounts, more product discount and value to the customer. Specialty stores, it could be apparel store, music store, bookstores. They're all called specialty stores. And finally, and very, very important now, which is really has taken a big share in the market, in Indian market and world over, is e-commerce and Q-commerce. E-commerce is electronic commerce, Q-commerce is quick commerce. So e-commerce is actually, which is your online retailing, which is really taking share now on a number of Indian market. It is close to 9 to 10% of Indian retail market is now with e-commerce or e-commerce. This one particular slide talks about how Indian retail landscape when compared to the global presence. So it is about India is about 4th in terms of global ranking, purely on the size of the market. It is $900 billion total value of Indian industry, and which is contributing to 10% of India's GDP, and 89 it is actually 89% is in the market share, and unorganized sector market share, and 9% of employed people are employed in this business, and it is growing by 8 to 10% year on year. So why such a rapid growth is what we will see. You all know rapid urbanization, rising incomes, e-commerce growth, technology integration, and policy support. So now lot of inflow from smaller towns to urban towns that is making more urban towns more retail friendly, or more creating more needs to retail business, retail industry, and incomes are rising. So that's so middle class is with more disposable income. They are now spending on the retail, both on the food, non-food, on that. And e-commerce, because of technology integration, technology growth, e-commerce have actually grown. So now usage of phone, usage, the kind of digital media we available. So e-commerce has taken up a good market share. Now coming to which categories are contributing in retail. So food and grocery, which is our agri business or food business, is actually contributes close to 50 to 60% of the total retail business. If $900 billion is there, close to 450 to $500 billion is with food and grocery. Now, let us come to what is happening in the food and grocery, what is happening with the agri business. Look at the agri business. Now you are cultivating, you are harvesting. From the harvest, it goes to the warehouse or a supermarket or a wholesaler. From there, it goes to retail stores, both online and offline. Finally, consumer is consuming. Now, same thing happens to FMCG food. What now? What is the entire? What does it help if it grows? If a retail company grows? Now, earlier, a typical retailer like me, I used to buy from a wholesale or I used to buy from a importer. Now, my 60% of my buying happens farm gate, at the farm gate. That means at the production, at the collection center. I go and buy from the farmers directly. So what happens? I pay the farmers better price. I also the farmers also get paid in actually when I'm cash and carry. So there is no credit, there is no middleman, there is no big turnovers to be managed. So I go procure from the collection center where the real agriculture produce is farmed. So if retail started growing, this is how what's happening to helping the farmer. One is his travel time, all the logistics is taken care by us. His prices are much better than what he was doing with wholesale, with the mandis, and I'm able to give fresh produce because from farm to store we will normally cover less than 12 hours. So post harvest waste also is coming down. So retail is on parallel helping the agri industry if it is taken care well. Of course, there is so much work to be done. So now AI is coming and taking up the good shape. So I know through an AI which farm I should procure, which location I can procure, so that I can get a better quality, best quality, where my final consumer will be benefited. Same thing, a farmer. We are working. Many companies have come now who's working with farmers, also telling them what is the demand, which what season we can do better, and where is the market. So this is also helping. AI is also helping in terms of demand forecasting, in terms of product market fit, which will help both farmers and the retailers finally give a good quality to consumer. So this is broadly about food and grocery industry, how it is contributing to the welfare or to the well-being of the farm. Then other categories come in picture, which is apparel, which is your clothing and footwear, electronics and appliances, home and furniture, health and beauty, and specialty retail. Now, just to give a perspective of global retailing, in the world, number one is top retailers in the global retail is about Walmart is number one. Number two is Costco. Number three is Kroger. So Walmart is world's largest. It's a $500 billion company. So it's founded by Sam Walton. Even I had a chance to work in that company. Then Kroger, Amazon, and Lidl. These are all top 5 companies in the world. And after that, Walgreens, Home Depot. Aldi is also a discounter, and Tesco. Tesco is in India now with the tie-up with Tata's. They are actually called as Tata Star Bazaar. So this is a type of a UK company, and Tesco is a UK company. $81 billion company, which has 6,000 stores across the world. And Carrefour. Carrefour is a French retailer, again coming to India in coming months. They are also big, large hypermarkets present across close to 33 countries. Who are top Indian retailers? Number one by far is Reliance Retail, who does 2 lakh plus crores turnover on an annual basis. Number two is B-Mart. They do close to 50,000 crores turnover per year. And other key players are Aditya Birla Retail, Shoppers Stop, Trent, which is Tata Hypermarket, which I told you now, which is part of Tesco, and V-Mart, Infinity, which is Chroma. So in India, e-commerce also has evolved very strongly, which is, I think you people have been using, which is Amazon, Flipkart, Big Basket, Snapdeal, all of this. So we have covered the retailers. Now, as we understood what is retail, what are various forms of retail, and what are the who are the top retailers in the world, what is the size of the market, let us do small deep diving into what is typically a retail company consists of, what are the various functions, how does they work, how does it help in retail growth. So as usual, CEO is the head of the company who creates strategic direction and who achieves overall growth of the company. Under him, various function heads will be there, which could be operations, merchandising, marketing, HR, finance, all of that. And then there is support functions, which is finance, HR, supply chain. So operations, business operations functions are operations, merchandising, marketing function. Support functions are finance, HR, supply chain, and IT function. So teams which support them is part of the retail organization. Now let us understand this top four or five functions, which actually are basically forms every retail organization. Now, first thing I would say, supply chain is one of the critical functions where right from procurement, buying the goods, warehousing them, and working on the logistics and distribution to ensure that product availability with optimal inventory levels. So procurement, warehousing, and distribution. These three are taken care of by supply chain team. So the merchandising or buying team buys the product, handovers to the supply chain team. They receive the product, they warehouse the product, and they distribute the product. Now I will also explain you how AI is helping all of these functions so that efficiencies are achieved, and wastage is reduced and productivity is improved. So let's talk about supply chain. Now, supply chain, the AI tool which works is about in terms of warehouse management system. It's called WMS, warehouse management system. It will tell you, it will actually help you on planning the daily schedule of these suppliers. It will also help you where to keep all your products in terms of bins. It is called bin management system. So I got 100 varieties of products. 100 varieties of products will help you. It's very difficult for you to look at where to keep what, so it becomes unorganized. So AI or even a WMS system will tell you there is a clear layout. Entire warehouse is put into layout. This product should go to rack number 1. This product should go to rack number 2, shelf number 2. So clear definition of marking and identification of various bins will happen. So that will help in terms of bin mapping. Now, what else is, so then from there to dispatch. So warehouse, the AI also now is evolved in demand forecasting. So from I have 20 supermarkets under one warehouse. Under one distribution center, I have 20 supermarkets. So how much each supermarket is requiring stock? For example, take example of onions or take example of tomatoes. So tomatoes my consumption is every day 20 tons. How many stores require how much stock by day, by weekdays, and by weekend will be forecasted by demand forecasting tool. Now, AI with algorithms and machine learning, in fact, can predict the demand. So from warehouse, how much stock should go through a forecasted method, we will with a prehistory, we'll be able to supply. So there is a lot of wastage reduction. So right stock goes in the right place. So this is procurement, warehouse management, and distribution. Then coming to a very important function, which is called merchandising or buying and merchandising. We also call in India we call buying and merchandising. In international companies, it's called commercial department. This is about what to buy, how much to sell, and doing supplier negotiation. This is all part of the buying and merchandising function. So I will explain that in detail in the coming slides. Then very important. So top three are business functions or operations functions. Bottom three are more support functions. So store operations is about day-to-day management of physical store or a e-commerce store. So right from customer service, opening shutter, closing shutter, welcoming customer service, displaying, visual merchandising, all of that is part of store operations. Then when coming to support function, you know about marketing. So creating brand awareness, telling the story about the brand USPs, brand unique selling proposition or brand core values is all about marketing. Then very important function is finance. Finance is about arranging funds, budgeting, monitoring and controlling, and ensuring that company is in the right direction in terms of financial health. All of that is part of finance. Very important, last but one, very, very important, which is HR. So right from selecting the right people, retaining the right people, developing and training the people to meet the demands of the business, and ensuring that the talent is built for organization growth and organization objectives. And also IT is one important function which is really evolved. Earlier it used to be a support function. I don't call them anymore support function. I call that as enabling function. IT and AA is becoming an enabling function, which is actually evolving and day by day. In fact, take an example of my business. I have at least 5 to 6 multiple softwares which are working with us to enhance the productivity of business, enhance the decision-making skills of the leaders. So broadly, these are the various functions in the in company. Now let us look at next function in detail. So store operations, which I told you, which is core responsibilities are daily store management, staff scheduling, managing the checkout, that is cash tills and payments, and how to display the product in each shelf. It is actually called visual merchandising, and ensuring that inventory is properly displayed, inventory is properly put in the shelf, and ensuring that loss is not happening, maintaining store health, cleanliness, and store upkeep and hygiene is all part of the core responsibilities of store operations. And very, very important, because I told you in the beginning, retail is about selling the goods and services to consumer directly. So customer and consumer is a very, very important person on our retail floors. So ensuring that service delivery and assistance to customer, handling their complaints, handling their returns, creating a very, very engaging, encouraging in-store experience is also one of the key things. And building the customer relationship management, product knowledge, all of that is part of customer excellence, which is actually part of more core part of store operations. And how do you measure this function, which is sales per square foot, all of that will come under inventory, conversion rate, average transaction value, units per transaction, cost of labor, cost of employees to the sales. All of these are performance metrics for operations. Now, I told you about merchandising, that is buying and merchandising. So broadly, five activities. First, they will understand. For example, I'm opening a supermarket in a place in Chennai. Can you see my screen, Neha?
Sir, are we done with the presentation?
No. Can you see my screen? I'm asking. In between, I think.
Yes, I can see your screen, sir. We are
Two
in
more-
the second screen.
2 more slides are there.
Okay, sir. No problem, sir. You can continue.
Yeah. I'll reshape. Yeah. So buying and merchandising is one of the critical functions. So to understand, first is I'm opened a supermarket or a hypermarket in Gujarat or in Ahmedabad. So in Ahmedabad, in a location in one of the streets, one collector colony, first is to understand the consumer trends of that particular market. What does that customer consume? What are their food habits? What are their reading habits? What do they consume? So I cannot have the product assortment which fits Chennai customer in Ahmedabad. So I need to go understand Ahmedabad customer or that particular catchment. It could be vegetarian customer, non-vegetarian customer, the kind of food you eat, kind of masalas you consume, all of that, their breakfast habits, their lunch habits, their dinner habits. First thing is to understand your consumer in the catchment where the supermarket is operating. So that is happening in the market research. Then once you understand that, you plan the assortment. We call it a product assortment. What is that it will sell for breakfast, what they consume in fruit and vegetable, what they consume in the lunch, what they consume in dinner, and then what are the kinds of various skincare and home care products they will buy. So we will plan the assortment, we plan the range. Then we will talk to various suppliers who sells these products, who various farmers or wholesalers where we buy the agri produce or the goods. Then we decide on the pricing. We should be very strong or we should discount, we should be premium, depending again on the catchment, depending again on your strategy. So then we will also do a performance analysis on how the sales is happening of various products, how the margin is quartering. All of that is part of buying and merchandising. Then marketing. Very, very critical. As I told you, scope of retail marketing is understanding the consumer data to create a target segmentation. That means now if DMart has to open a store, it will open a store where middle class catchment is there, who wants to buy products in discount and value. So that is the kind of consumer insights. Maybe a deeper work in terms of the area, the targeted area is what we will do, and then we will understand that, we pass on to that. And we do a lot of in-store marketing inside the store, inside the point of purchase. And we also do local area marketing, which is in those 3 kilometers, 5 kilometer radius of retail. And now the marketing is more on the digital. So where you have social medias and websites, where apps and email marketing strategies, where now it is more of personalized communication. Earlier, the mass media is attracting customer, but now you can do a lot of personalized communication using the model called recency, frequency, and monitoring, which is called RFM analysis. Also, a lot of AI inputs have come so that it helps in driving store traffic and customers to the store, increase the conversion rate, increase the loyalty of the brand, and also enhance better brand perception so that equity of the brand equity is very high. Supply chain, I've told you already. So these are the key functions. And now we can draw a lot of parallels to supply chain agri and supply chain one which I've stored. So agri supply chain initially, as I told you, so we can do real-time visibility, last mile optimization for faster delivery, and focus on sustainability and reduce carbon footprint. So this, if you have your AI or a algorithm or a machine learning of demand forecasting, we can go and work with the farmers about telling that these are my seasonal demands, these are the crops are in demand, please start planning. So crop planning also can happen if a retailer, large retailer, can go and work with them. So that is about agri. And even about retail, regular FMCG, this is how, as I told you, so logistics and warehousing, inventory management, order fulfillment, and returns management. These are all very, very core part of the supply chain function. So there ends my presentation. Now I can give you time in terms of asking questions. You can go ahead. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
The presentation was really very nice. Sir, I'll just do one thing, like we are having various participants. If they'll have any queries, they can drop down their queries in the chat. I'll enable the chat box for all. And then, sir, if you want to, then you can answer the queries alike.
Yeah.
Okay, sir, I'm just opening the chat box for all.
Okay.
So we can wait for like 2 to 3 minutes, and I guess within that time period, we'll be started with the questions, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Sir, I have received some questions right here in my chat.
Yes, please.
Sir, they are that what are the key difference between traditional retail, model retail, and e-commerce retail models?
Brilliant. So traditional retail, if you take an example, if you are local next door Kirana shop, so mom and pop Kirana shop where the stores are one or two and run by individual real-time entrepreneurs. And modern retail is what now you talk about more, you talk about DMart, you talk about Reliance. These are all managed by corporate companies, a large organization where into various formats which I told you, supermarket, hypermarket, all of them. And e-commerce is which is done, the commerce, the trading is done on the digital side. So electronically you do the buying, electronically you do selling, and delivery is also done through a last mile delivery, which is called e-commerce, which is Amazon, Flipkart, Zepto. All of this is part of e-commerce. What's the next question?
Okay. So one question is, sir, what suggestions will you suggest for marketizing the product engine?
Okay. What suggestion you give for merchandising the product? Okay. Right. So now, if you look at merchandising, merchandising means about how to display a product in a store. So the product in a store is displayed in shelves. So there is a small science between that. Let me take a few minutes and explain that. So if I have a product which is small, medium, and large, I normally display them small in the top, medium size in the center, and large size in the bottom. So people will know small, medium, big, and also sometimes if you're doing merchandising of apparels, we do light first, light, lighter, dark, darker. So light to dark, left to right is what we do merchandising for apparels. So some companies does high cost products in the center of the aisle so that they buy more value products, more costly products, so that retailer gets benefited. That's how merchandising is done for all the products. Now, hope I answered this. Next question is, I'm an agri professional from Odisha. I'm currently dealing with marketing of different forest-based products. Basically, the community majorly depends on the farmers. Is there any opportunity for these products? Of course, there is opportunity. So if I ask this lady, marketing is about how you can tell this story. First, understand your consumers, your target group of these particular product. So and understand their needs. So solve the problems, solve the needs of your customer or your target customer. How do you solve the needs? If you know you're solving the needs, create a story that this is the product which is solving your challenges, which is solving your problems. So, need and solution. And how better you tell this solution to your customer or your target group is what about marketing about. Let us say, example, there is a gut problem for many customers, or there is a hair fall problem, there is a skin problem. That is the need, that is a problem challenge in the market. Now your products have a solution. So your product, you can say, I have a natural product without any side effects, which is sustainable, and this is a right solution. It will solve your challenge. So telling that story through marketing, but before that, identifying the challenge or needs of the market and creating a story and communicating that story in various channels. So your customers, where are they? Are they in digital? Are they in mass media? Are they on YouTube? Identifying that and targeting the customers through communication. This is the complete chain of identification. Yeah. Yes. So next question. What is the scope of agribusiness management? Yeah. So agribusiness management, as I told you, 40 to 60% of Indian retail is agri and food. Now there are chains in South India where I'm present, which has 70% of their store or supermarket is agri, which is fruits and vegetables. So now the chain is acquired by Westbridge, which is a large US multinational fund, and they're opening some 1,000 stores where they sell 70% of the supermarkets are fruits and vegetables. So agribusiness management students would have opportunities in terms of procurement, would have opportunities in terms of supply chain management, would have opportunities in terms of buying, would have opportunities in terms of sales and operations and quality control. So agribusiness people would have lovely opportunities. I'm talking about only fruit and vegetable, but there are agri-produce beyond fruit and vegetables. There is meat, there is fish, which is exported to the world. There is seafood, which is exported to the world. All of that part is part of agribusiness. Definitely, there is a big scope.
Okay. What marketing is different?
As a person, I don't support network marketing, but it is good enough. So network marketing doesn't involve in major costs. So it is all spread through a network. So it's easy, less cost, but definitely it is effective also these days.
So, sir, on behalf of students right here, I want to ask, like, how can they enter into the corporate world of marketing, like in agribusiness management and all? If you can, like, throw some light on this.
Yeah. See, there are multiple routes. One is wherever you're studying, your colleges do internship programs, and also you do campus recruitment programs. That is one. Second, now as a retailer, I want various people. Now I'm not able to get the demand for people is so high, and the demand versus supply is very less. That means demand is high, supply is less. So we now normally we are going to various colleges, agri universities like you, or to the degree colleges. We are going and talking about internship, talking about placement. So retail has so much to offer for students. So one is the campus recruitment. Beyond that, you can apply to the websites what we have through directly or through websites or through Naukri portals or employment portals.
Okay, sir. So one more thing, that what are the most important skills that are required for a successful career in sales and retail management?
Actually, I had that session today. I didn't want to do this too much. So just give me 1 second, please.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Sorry, I had to attend something. Now tell me, can you repeat the question again?
Sir, just a minute. I need to open it. So the question was like, what? So there are flooded questions I'm having.
Oh, is it?
Like, what are the most important skills required for a successful career in sales and retail management?
So various skill sets are required for to fit into various functions. I've told you about operations function. I told you about buying and procurement function, supply chain functions. So depending on individual skills and learnings and competencies you have, you will fit into various functions. So for example, first let us say operations function, which is store operations functions. You need to be good at customer service. You need to be good at communication. You need to be good at hard work, physical work. So these customer communication, business management fundamentals, all of that will help in retail operations. Buying and merchandising, you should be good at technical commercial skills. You should be good at product knowledge. You should be good at negotiation. These are all comes for success, helps you succeed in buying and merchandising. So depending on the skill sets you have and competencies you have, select the function and work in that function. Start learning. Initial days is initial years are learning, and then you will succeed.
Yes, sir. So, like one thing, like how do companies balance sales target with customer satisfaction? Like, is it that easy to balance the target, or it is somewhere difficult enough to maintain the targets and all? Because all we know is that the corporate and retail industries are all about the targets, and so I just wanted to like you to show some lights on like how companies are managing for.
See, it is all about leadership also. If a leader or a company understand by having good customer satisfaction, you will create more demand. More demand creation creates more sales. So if that strong understanding and priorities are given to customer, definitely sales is a actually process. So that's why now I feel most of the companies does they give a lot of importance for the product management, customer satisfaction, and then build their processes of sales and everything into that. So customer service is important.
Okay. So, sir, like, what do you think that what qualities do recruiters look when hiring fresh graduates for sales and retain roles? This is the question that is coming.
Okay. See, because tomorrow I'm sitting in the interview panel to select 100 people. So I do that. Also, through your thing, if people are interested, they are part of South, they're part of Chennai and Tamil Nadu. We have so many jobs. So you can also contact me for that.
Yes, so we can ask them to drop their CVs,
Yeah, you
right?
can drop them, but through you, because directly so many I'll not be able to handle.
Yes, sir, we'll do
can
that.
apply to you and you can send me the CVs. Now, coming back to the question, see, first we see the energy of the candidate, how energetic he is about, and we see about their communication. We see their passion for the job. We also see their problem solving skills. Because a fresh graduate, I cannot expect talk about experience in that relative field. I will only see the energy, I will see the communication, positivity of the person, his body language, and then their communication skills.
Okay, sir. Sir, one question is like, can you just explain the hierarchy? Like, the students get recruited, then what is the position? Because they basically want to know about that.
Yeah. So a typical hierarchy in retail organization is they start, for example, if you are not a graduate, they start at are a graduate. Now they start at a customer service associate. That is the first job, customer service associate. On the top, there is a supervisor. On the top, there is store manager. So these are the three levels in a supermarket. From a store manager, they become a area manager for 10 stores, for 15 stores. From area manager, you become a vice president or a head of operations. From head of operations, which is the head of a function in one company. Then they move to, if they become good, they become COO, where they will, a COO, Chief Operating Officer, will manage 3 or 4 functions like operations, like buying and merchandising, like HR, like marketing. And then if you do well, you become a CEO.
Okay, sir. Thank you for sharing this because most of the students at bachelor's level are having like various queries regarding the same. They don't know for which particular position to apply for according to their qualification and graduation. So, sir, like what is the single most important lesson that you have learned during your journey in the retail and FMCG industry?
Very difficult to say single most. As a person, no, if I say you should have this never die attitude.
Yes, sir.
And one thing I always believed was your attitude determines your altitude. Your positive attitude determines the altitude, that height you grow in a career. In fact, for me, I started as a sales executive, first job in Godrej typewriters, and I've seen the CEO level. So, in I started very normal position. So, like that, many people are there. Yes.
It's very good to know, sir. So it's very good to know, sir, like from a very vast experiences. Sir, I must say, like the students are in bachelor's and masters. So, sir, yesterday also, like in the interaction session, we were having so many questions like we should go for ABM or we should go for masters. And at bachelor's level, how can we prepare for like good universities who are performing the ABM like courses? Like if we talk about IIMs, or then we are also having manage, we are having ICAR NAM in Hyderabad, we are having ICR NIAM, I guess it's in Jaipur. So sir, like can you just explain these participants right here, like how can they prepare, like what should be their interest, domain interest to go at that particular area, and if they are not having to go in that particular area, they can go for their research and all.
Right. Now, see, if you want to look at a management career, I will talk more on the management career, and maybe agri business students I can talk. So, as a management career, first I feel after graduation, you should work, you should have a work experience for 2 to 3 years. It will actually open up your real time practical understanding of corporate companies. After that, if you do your management degree, that will be great. A lot of international companies or countries would follow this. They see the work experience of a person, because your understanding of management concept, business concepts, all of that are much better when you have done a 2 to 3 years work experience. Then do your MBA. Then it will help you to connect to the business language, to the real world, real business scenarios. In IM, because I'm an IM Ahmedabad alumni, we all taught from on case studies. We are not talked about a subject knowledge. Subject knowledge is equally important. We read so much, but we really go in deep diving in understanding practical, actual business cases. So that will help you to understand the real time world better, rather than just book for all 25, 30 years. They keep on reading research, MBA, so on. You do, but at a stage, I would say. And then, so if it is not management, if you want to become a research scholar, or if you want to become a professor in teaching, yes, you continue your education, so you upgrade yourself, but learning never stops. Upgrading and upskilling, upbreasting yourself with knowledge is continuous. In fact, my learning continued after my MBA. At my 38 years of age, I've done my IIM Ahmedabad program. Then I've done XLRI on a strategic management program from XLRI Jamshedpur. Then I've done a course from US on the leadership program. So you at various stages, your learning is required. Now AI has come. You don't need so much of classroom training, but you need to upgrade yourself, keep learning more, so that you meet the demands of the real corporate world.
Okay, sir. One last question, sir. As you have said that, if I'm not wrong, that you completed your MBA from IIM at the age of 38 or something like that. So,
Yeah.
sir, like students are basically scared. Like they do bachelor's, then they go for 2-3 years of job. Basically, it's in sales executive or something like that. So then they think that age is a limit, and then they don't study or enter into the business management line. So, what will be your light on that?
I'll explain it. I'll correct that. I've done my regular MBA from a university from Andhra Pradesh.
Mhm.
I'm actually from Andhra Pradesh.
Mhm.
But this program which I did at 38 was general management program, which is a 1 month program in the campus.
Okay.
So which I've passed out from there, and I become an IIM Ahmedabad alumnus. So at various stage of your career, there are various stages of learning and challenges. For example, all the life you are a sales manager and operational manager. But when you touch when you become a head of a function or when you become a middle management role, you need to understand a general management perspective. You should know beyond sales, you should know marketing, you should know production, you should know HR, all of that. So you become a general manager for 4 or 5 functions when you become a CEO or a CXO. So you need to have that strategic management, that leadership maturity, the leadership understanding, all of that when you touch that age of mid level. So that is the upgradation which I did. Otherwise, I did my MBA and then did this specialization.
So, sir, like how can students know about this 1 month diploma programs or such programs? Like if they want to register themselves or they want to work or anyone, like we are also having various.
I suggest you join a job,
Hmm.
and there'll be various demands in that job. To
Hmm.
meet those demands, to learn yourself, do this program.
Hmm.
For sake of doing programs, you can do for knowledge sake. You can
Hmm.
acquire knowledge. But how the knowledge become competency when you put that knowledge into use? It becomes a competency or it becomes a skill. So if you have to do that knowledge skilling and all that, start working. And in the work, you will, for example, in a work there is a negotiation skill. Do a program on negotiation skill because your work demands that. So you relate mostly into work or a job or a business, which will help you to grow. So these programs should be augmenting your experience, augmenting your knowledge.
Okay. So, sir, like, do we need to register or do we need to give any particular exam for this programs or something like that?
See, I'm not an academician, but I can still answer. Depending on the program, where there are multiple universities, multiple education institutions which is doing. Now, for example, Just Agriculture is doing this program on agri businesses, on AI, or innovation, or retailing like Meterly. So various programs are depending on what you need.
So, yes, sir, we are almost done with the session. This was really an interactive session, I must say. So, sir, we are just concluding this. So, thank you, sir, for such an insightful and enriching session. Your valuable thoughts and practical perspectives have truly added great value to our understanding, and we are sincerely grateful for the time and knowledge that you shared with us and the time that you have taken out from your busy schedule to deliver the session among the participants. So, it was indeed a privilege to learn from your experience, sir, and we appreciate your presence and guidance, and we look forward to staying connected and learning more from you in the future, sir.
All the best to all of you if you are students, and you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm present as Devendra Kumar. On the LinkedIn, I'm there, and also through you they can reach me out. You have my mail ID. You can reach me out. kumar.devendrak@gmail.com is my mail ID. Do you want me to type here?
Sir, I'm also having the mail ID. Yeah, but if you want, you can type your mail ID right here also.
Yeah, I will type here. And you can talk about me on this LinkedIn post. I'm typing.
Yes, sir. I'll be also sharing with you today's sessions pictures and all, and you can go through that.
Yes. Here you go. kumar.devendra@gmail.com. Thank you very much. Really appreciate all of you. Great going. Wish you all the best. Have great careers ahead. And don't forget, have patience, be brave, work hard. Definitely success will come one day. There will be failures. Don't get disheartened with failures. Nobody comes with full success. I failed multiple times in my career. So success doesn't come easily, but be patient, be strong, be perseverant. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's very multiple times I can say you thank you because it was really a good session. And I guess that many people have learned about many things if they have cleared their mind about the management and all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. As we come to the close of today's enriching session, I, Neha Bhatt, would like to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you First and foremost, I extend my sincere thanks to our respected speaker for sharing such valuable knowledge, insights, and practical experiences with us. Your guidance has truly added depth to our learning and inspired us to think beyond conventional approaches in agriculture. So, I would also like to thank the organizing committee for this continuous efforts in making this program so well structured and impactful. I especially appreciation goes to all the participants for your active involvement, thoughtful questions, and enthusiastic participations. Your energy is what makes this platform truly vibrant and successful. So day 10 has once again like reminded us that learning is a continuous journey, and with the integration of advanced technologies and smart practices, we are steadily moving towards a more innovative and sustainable agricultural future. With this, we conclude today's session on a positive and inspiring note. I hope you all carry forward the knowledge gained today and apply it meaningfully in your academic and professional pursuits. Thank you once again for being such a wonderful audience. Wishing you all great ahead. Good evening. See you all tomorrow on Monday for next session. Thank you so much, Jai Hind.